welcome to Research Bites, your daily dose of science news. Rice is a staple food for more than half of the world's population, and since its domestication thousands of years ago, rice has played an essential role in shaping civilizations. But present-day rice cultivation may be harming the planet's climate. A recent study that was published in the journal Proceedings of the National Academy of Sciences assessed intermittent flooding in rice fields, which is a common practice in India, could be contributing to large emissions of two greenhouse gases, methane and nitrous oxide. Rice has been grown for at least 10,000 years. At first, it was grown in forest clearings, under a system of shifting cultivation. The crop was direct seeded, without standing water and fertilizers, in conditions only slightly different from those that wild rice was subject to. The absence of standing water and fertilizers meant the negligible production of methane and nitrous oxide. But over the years, the practice of rice cultivation changed in order to increase production. Puddling the soil, turning it to mud, and transplanting seedlings became an integral part in rice farming so that there would be higher yields. The researchers assessed the climate impact of intermittent flooding and fertilizer use regimes in rice farms for 3 years. They hypothesized that by managing the quantities of nitrogen, water, and organic matter that was being added to land, the climate impacts of rice cultivation could be reduced. Nitrous oxide levels were 30 to 45 times higher under medium or intense forms of intermittent flooding in comparison to those typically found under continuous flooding. Also, the flooding pattern was the most important predictor of nitrous oxide emissions. This showed that the more intense the intermittent flooding, the higher the nitrous oxide emissions. The study also used a mathematical framework called the Technology Warning Potential Framework to compare the collective climate impacts of various greenhouse gases and the different technologies used in rice cultivation. The study showed geospatial risk analysis for the entire Indian subcontinent, including Pakistan, Nepal, Sri Lanka, and Bangalore. It clarifies which geographic areas might hold the highest risk of large nitrous oxide emissions. And as expected, the risk analysis indicated that rice farms that were rain-fed and irrigated with multiple wet and dry cycles were at risk for high emissions of nitrous oxide. On the other hand, rice irrigation with continuous flooding and those in wetlands were less susceptible to such emissions. Overall, the findings show that by co-managing the use of fertilizers and organic matter, along with a mild form of intermittent flooding, both the methane and nitrous oxide emissions can be minimized by an average of 60%. Thank you for listening. Don't forget to like, share, and follow. This podcast was brought to you by Research Matters, a SciComm initiative by Gooby Labs. For more science-based stories, podcasts, and news, log on to our website www.researchmatters.in.